So, my dear Taurus, you getting a second time the Sun in Capricorn. And last time the message was some transformations are more intense than others. And you are pointing here at the heart, and you are really having the sweat lodge and here the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. Jupiter that is making out of you something bigger than you could ever dream of, right? And that was the message. And so the transformation that you're going through your heart, because here we can really see how she is touching the heart. And I'm just noticing that I made a mistake. I was writing Sagittarius Sun and Taurus Moon. So that's a mistake. I have to change that picture. But just that you see that the transformation that you went through there is that you have realized that the heart is the most important energy, right? It's the magnetic energy that is actually bringing you the real fulfillment, right? I'm just gonna have to take the scarf off because today the sun is really strong and I feel like I'm getting a little hot here. So we have, of course, the Sun in Capricorn giving a second time the light to Taurus. And so we're gonna go to the left. We're going to your new moon, Sun and new moon in your sign. You had a full moon in the month of Scorpio. That's your opposite sign. And so here you are now being called to look again into Capricorn, the attachment, the being cut off of the source, right? But it's not that someone else is cutting you off. You are allowing yourself not to be connected. And the Kundalini snake is pointing directly at the third eye. And so you can recognize that you, who is getting always the message, is learning to trust that the triangle that's pointing up to your head is where the most important energy is, and that's the third eye, the sixth sense, right? The five senses here in the 15, we have the five senses until the throat chakra, and then the one is one more here in the third eye. Meanwhile, you are working through the five senses, and so it's almost like Capricorn is letting you know, go to the third eye, go in the meditation deep within, then you can recognize that you're not stuck in your five senses. The yoga position for Capricorn is the dancer pose. We're dancing ourselves up into this higher consciousness. And for you, I did a movement, right? I don't want these two pillars anymore like static. I want you to start moving because, I mean, you're a cow, right? Though when we see the cows, right, when they're really outside, they're running and they're enjoying. They're not like we force them to be standing all day and just eating and making a lot of milk. So the natural cycle of a cow is to be outside, and also they're running and they're enjoying nature as it is, right? And so here we have, of course, an understanding that you are learning maybe to recognize through a Capricorn, that, which is also an earth sign, to go into the third eye. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is, of course, the father, is the border, is or are the lessons. And you are ruled by Venus. Venus is then here the beauty and the love, but also the money and the institutions, right? And so you hopefully will have a deeper look into all of that, because that's what we do, right? We do this reading exactly on the day the moon is in your sign, and so I have to look who gives you the light, and that's the sun now in Capricorn. And so this moment exists only once a year, but when I include all the other planets, then this moment exists only once in your lifetime. And that's why I'm doing really the readings when the moon is in your sign. Your court card here is the King of Pentacles. He's facing the left, the soul path, which is going deep within. And is your birthday between April 10 and May 9th, then he is your court card. If not, you can look in the description below. I have listed all the dates of the court cards there. And you could be before or after, right, the Queen of Wands, or maybe the Knight of Swords, right? And so it could be interesting that you also look into the reading before or after this one. You are Taurus, right? Taurus, the sensual. Just that you remember, this is why you are loving the money, because with that money you can buy yourself all these delicious and beautiful things. You also the second house of resources and worth, and we see here that she has all the 7 chakras and the mineral kingdom, and she sits here in an equilibrium on the moon, right? And yeah, you are someone that knows what something is worth, right? What you have to give as an exchange for what you're buying. And so you are very clearly a strong financial personality. You know where to put your money and what to do with it. Now, Saturn also rules the world, and usually I have the world at the end of the reading because I'm using the major arcana path, a few stations that I picked. And usually I have the world at the end, which is the 21st card. And now it's at the beginning, and I'm having a look on what Saturn, which rules Capricorn, Capricorn giving you now the second time the light, what kind of muse you can be in this world, right? Because this is the Muse Tarot, and we want to be someone that is inspiring in whatever way you are wanting to inspire the world. And so let's have a look which card is coming up here as a message. You get Temperance, and Temperance is of course Sagittarius. Temperance is the card number 14. So we have the Wheel of Fortune plus the Emperor connecting then into the 14, and when we calculate the 14 together we get a 5, like you. So Temperance is talking to you, and you see you can come more into an equilibrium, because it's important that you find your inner balance, like the moon phases and the 2 women. One is dancing here with the full moon, and one is dancing with the new moon. And you are learning to come more into your inner balance, because the world needs people who are really balanced, who are really in their center. Now the 21, we have the 20, we have of course the calling. What is your calling? And the 1, the Magician. Magician is the one that actually uses the calling, and then here calculated together we get the 3, and the 3 is then the Empress, rules the world, right? All women are in the end ruling the world, because they are the one that raise the children. And they are the one that can influence the children on a very profound way, because the first 3 to 7 years is important what you tell your child. And so we women are enormously powerful, and the male knows that. Now all together we get an 8, and the 8 is then getting the strength to be that kind of muse that is in her balance, that is able to influence the world, right? And you are here as Taurus, and here Leo, and then Scorpio and Aquarius. They're all here, and so you are recognizing that the world needs people who are more in their equilibrium. And so the message is clear. The 8 is coming here to you. And so we begin the reading. We're reading again, like I said, to the left. And the first card here on the position of the Magician, which is connected with Uranus, and Uranus is the change and is connected with Aquarius, rules Aquarius, you get the Queen of Wands. Now, like I said, maybe you have Queen of Wands energy in you, because the Queen of Wands is Aries, and Aries is the head, you are the neck, right? That's why you always have actually in your card, in some of them, a blue scarf, and the blue is the 5th chakra. And so you see that the Queen of Wands is coming, and maybe you have a little bit of the Queen of Wands in you. Maybe your birthday is a little earlier, and so have a look down below. I have listed all of them. So the Queen of Wands is helping you to take a step, right? A step into the unknown, a step into yourself. With the red shoes, she's literally saying, yes, you go for it, right? And you can actually achieve new things by the way you think, by the way you are using your brain and taking that step. She's the number 1, so we have 1 and 0, a 10 here appearing, and the 10 is the new cycle, a new cycle that you are starting to feel, because we're going away from your full moon, we're going now to your new moon, you're going deeper within, and that's why we're reading to the left. On the position of the Magician comes here the Witness. Now the Witness is a very beautiful card. It's the last card in the deck, and the Witness is, of course, the observer, is the one that starts to look at things, and you get here with the 64 again a 10. And so you have a 10-10 portal right away, 2 times the 10. Become creative in the way you're starting this new path, plus the 1 with the Magician, right? We have then the 65. And so the 6 is always the Lovers, is finding your deep, deep love. And when you have found that love and you can execute it like an emperor, and the Emperor is here in Temperance as well, right, of the 14, then you are recognizing that you are in a completion cycle. Now I'm adding the 1, we have the 5, which is you, and then we get an 11 calculated all together. And the 11 is the inner teacher, the inner knowledge that comes to you, and you are using it. And you see the 8 here above his head as that infinite knowledge that is always available for the Magician. It's kind of like the inspiration, right? Meanwhile, here we have this crazy idea, and here we have the inspiration to act upon it. And so in this 10-10 portal, right, you begin to take a step into the witness. You want to become more a witness of all things. And so the 11 here, it's very beautiful, right? Because in the Kabbalistic tree of life, we have the number 11, and the 11 is a double-digit number. And so I wanted to see what that inner teacher of the 11 is bringing to you. What are you realizing? And the 5 of Swords came up, right? Upright. And so it means that the pentagram is facing down, and the 5 is connected with you. And so you are noticing now a 5-5 portal here with the Magician inside, and the 56 we get the 11. So there's an 11 portal with a 5-5 around it, right? And you're recognizing that the 5 senses are what brings us attachment to this dimension. And so the 5 of Swords are 5 thoughts that make you think about you need to win, right? And interesting enough, this is connected with the constellation Venus in Aquarius. And so Venus, the beauty and the love and also the money, makes you fight, right? Makes you fight for what you believe is important. And so sometimes you get even for good things into a fight because you are the witness, right? Now, if I put here the Magician in, right, then we get the 65, and the 65 then plus the 5 would be a 7, right? And so the 7 is then the crown chakra, is the emotional fulfillment that you can enjoy when you understand all of these 3 cards now together. But I leave the 11 portal, the inner teacher, and the inner teacher can look at this 5 and know it is a challenge, and that challenge is here that you become stronger. That's all there is, right? And so recognize that through Venus in Aquarius. And so today is the last day where the sun is in Capricorn, and of course Taurus in your sign, and tomorrow everything is gonna change. Then on the position of the High Priestess comes Sagittarius, and Sagittarius here is the 9th house of learning and philosophy, plus the 2 of the High Priestess, we get again an 11. And so we have quite a few ones, right? We have a 10 here, which is then in the end left a 1 with the Queen of Wands. Then we have a 10 here, then with the 1 and then 11. And so we have 1, 2, 3 ones. And it lets you know that you are empowered by the knowledge, right? With another 2 ones, then you have 5 ones. And the intuition is letting you know, yes, learn and study and see how he is the Lord of flame and lightning. See that you want to learn, and see that you're going actively out and wanting to learn more so that you can really be that inner teacher, right? The 11 that is telling you here this very clearly. And Sagittarius is connected with Jupiter, and Jupiter is that moment where you're recognizing, oh, okay, I'm learning more and more to understand here is a message for me when the 11 appears. And so 5 times the 11 is speaking to you very clearly. And then of course we have the 5 of Swords, right? So 5 times the 11 and the 5 of Swords, it's like you don't need to fight. You know, you have a huge knowledge deep within you, and so use it. Then here on the position of the Empress, you get the Magician, which is also the 1, right? So now you have 6 times the 1, and 6 times the 1 is like Capricorn is letting you know, yes, you're learning now to use one more chakra, the 3rd eye, the inner eye, right? Because you are 5 and 1 is 6. And so you are learning. You're learning to recognize also in the 9 a completion. In the 9, you're learning that there is a foundation now that is speaking to you of knowledge. And in that knowledge, you can arrive in the 3rd eye. You can arrive in the 6th, right? And so the Empress and the Magician creates a 4. And the 4 is the Emperor. And the Emperor is then you can rule in a masculine and in a feminine way all together as a union, as that 9 again, as that alchemical tantric union between male and female that is talking to us all the time, right? Then on the position of the Hierophant, we get here the Lovers, the number 6. And the 5 and the 6 is an 11 again. So now you have here 6 plus 2, you have 8 ones. Wow, I mean the message is getting strong. You have 8 ones. You have an 8 with the World and the Temperance, and you are recognizing that the 6, the clear 6, right, can be achieved when you learn through Capricorn to use the 5 chakras plus 1 more chakra, and then get into the 3rd eye, get into the inner eye, right? Because you are the 5, and the 5 can sometimes feel a little stuck, right? So you need to really open yourself to the message. You really need to do the work, right? That's why you are Taurus. You are the 2nd house of being with the financial, the resources, and the money, and but also the beauty and the institutions. And so the love that you are finding for yourself is what is talking here very strongly to you. Then on the position of the King of Pentacles in the center of the reading, we get the Queen of Wands coming one more time. So I have a feeling that you are really having some Aries energy in your chart, right? So have a look. You have the Queen of Wands on the position of the Fool, and now you get the Queen of Wands on the position of the King. So here the 2 and the 1 creates a 3. And the 3 is then the Empress that has brought you here, the Magician has brought you here the understanding that think clearly about how you want to inspire people around you, because she's fire and water and you are air and earth. So right here you have all 4 elements, and that's exactly what the Magician is telling you. He's saying, I have all 4 elements on the table, but I have only 3 legs on the table, which is the Empress, the 3, right? And so recognize that you are seeing in the triangle that's pointing down and in the triangle that's pointing up of the Lovers, you see that the Gemini energy that is in the Lovers is the 3rd house of communication. And so recognize the communication that is coming here through an Aries, through the Queen of Wands, because you are getting here all 4 elements. And so there is a deep understanding happening here when you incorporate her, right? When you are seeing in your charts that you maybe have here quite maybe an ascendant of Aries, right? So just have a look at that. Then on the position of the Devil, here in your deck, you look quite scary, right? You have here again the pentagram facing down, which came here. So you see that here this sign, this 5 of Swords, right? Venus in Aquarius can affect you because Venus is ruling you. And so here the 15 plus the 10 of Wands is letting you know, recognize that the 10 of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius. And you did get Sagittarius on the position of the High Priestess, which brought you, of course, the 9, the learning, and then the 11, the inner teacher, in being intuitive, in knowing how to work through things. But now you have Saturn, which rules Capricorn, in Sagittarius, and 10 Wands is too much work, right? Here you are not getting the work done. It's almost like you oppress. It's almost like it's like so much to do, because the 15 plus the 10 is the 25, and the 25 is then again the last judgment. You're calling to recognize the 5. You're calling to recognize that in the 25 you are inside, that you need to learn to overcome the 5 senses. You need to overcome the 5 chakras. So you need to get into the 6th chakra, right? But I can also calculate here the 15 into a 6, and the 10 and the 6 is the 16, is the Tower. Tower is Mars. Mars is like pushing, right, things into this world, and recognizing that sometimes we fight, and this is where here the fighting in your mind is coming up, right? But you have also the witness, remember, right? You are watching that, and sometimes you are watching yourself fighting deep within you about things that maybe are not really that important, because you are attached to your opinion, and we're all attached, and we're all conditioned. We all think this is how it's supposed to be, and in the end then someone comes and says, yeah, but it's actually like this. So the 16 then again becomes the 7, the emotional success, that you're, when you don't get attached to how you work and how you do things, the cutting off, right, of the source. see that the 7 is the 7th chakra, and in the 7th chakra you're learning that here the sun in Capricorn is then a new personality that you want to bring into this world when we calculate all together, because then we get the 7, the emotional success of the Cancer, the Chariot. Have more emotional success. You don't need to do so much, right? You don't need to climb the ladder, because the Capricorn is always the 10 is the social status, climbing up the social status, right? And so you have the 10 here, the social status, right? It's something that you actively think you need to climb, but you don't, right? Because it's like, why would you want to climb, right? And so I see now we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 ones. Oh my God, 10 ones. It's like, yes, a new cycle is beginning. A new cycle is calling, right? Capricorn is literally saying, see that in your third eye. A new cycle is coming up on you, and things are changing, things are moving, and you are learning now to work with that, because then on the position of the moon, we have here the eye of the eagle, the rising above the fray, and that's what the 10 does, right? The 10 is like, okay, we have the 1818 portal here, which becomes a 99, and then again, of course, the 9 is left. So there's a 9, there's a completion. Learn whatever there is to learn through Sagittarius, right? Learn in such a way that it doesn't become a burden, that it doesn't become something that you are stuck in, because on the position of the moon in Taurus came Gemini, and Gemini is the communication. Gemini is then bringing you the 9 and the 6, the 15. 15 is again then the devil, right? The 15, the attachment, or the cutting off of the source. And so the 6 is left. And so that's then the learning that you have to really, truly love yourself from deep, deep within. But I wanted to see what is the eagle bringing you, and it brought you the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. And the 8 of Pentacles is connected with the constellation Sun in Virgo. And Virgo is also an earth sign. So Virgo here, Sun in Virgo, brings you an understanding that when we work and when we want to achieve mastery, and you see her here creating what she's creating, right? She's like the priestess that creates all these beautiful patterns, but it's in reverse, and the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, right? Of course, when it's reverse, it has a different meaning when it's upright, and just upright, a group of women gathers to share their work. Reverse, she's uninspired about her life, particularly her work. There seems to be no meaning or camaraderie in what she does. She may be underutilized or bored, or she may desire a change of career. And so the eagle brings you that perspective, because maybe you're working way too hard, right? And we know that the attachment or Capricorn is sometimes pushing you maybe to work hard, but you don't want to work hard anymore. And so that's why you get the 8 of Pentacles. To become a master means now to turn this around, to become a master and to be recognized within the tribe that you have done the work. And so the 9 and the 8 creates the 17. The 17 is Aquarius, is then here. When you're looking at the 5 of Swords, the Venus in Aquarius, inverted energy, that also the triangle here, or the inverted pentagram, points at the third eye from the devil, is letting you know the 17 now, the Aquarian energy that is coming in, right? Tomorrow it's going to be like Pluto is in Aquarius, Sun is in Aquarius, and it's just like really, really strong energy that is pushing you forward. You get the 8 again, and you had the 8 here in the world. Be more for the world, an inspiration of temperance. Be grand, be a guardian angel, because here's also Jupiter, and Jupiter is that Wheel of Fortune energy, right? And so the 17, the star, be a star, and then out of that star you become the strength in this world, turning the card around and finding a new job. It's almost like your subconscious is helping you to find now here a job, because you are looking through the lens of the eagle. You are looking through above, right? When you are high above, you are recognizing, oh, that's the message that is coming here to me, because then on the position here of the sun, you get the 37. You get here the attraction to the magnetic energy an atom has on us. And so we get here the 37, and we had here also the 46, which is also a 10. So there's a 10-10 framing the eagle, which is the 9. And so we had 10 ones. Then we got not another one here with the 9 and the 8, but we get another one here. So you have 11 ones. Oh my God. Right, 11 ones, but here the sun is the 19. 19 calculated together is a 10. But I'm not calculating the stations per se in it. You have 11 ones right now, right? And the 11 ones is like, okay, the inner teacher is calling you, right? And you see that you have been pulled into the mystery of life, right? Because here we have a 10 and a 10, that's then the 20, and the 20 is the calling of the last judgment, or the understanding that the last judgment is also connected with Pluto, and Pluto is going into Aquarius. And so the 8 here, opposite of Aquarius, is Leo, and Leo is here in the corner of the world. And also you, right? So you're feeling that. All the fixed signs are feeling it, right? And of course, Aquarius feels it too. Aquarius is a fixed sign as well. And so I think it's like you're really noticing that a big shift is happening, and that you are now called to be an eagle, to look from above and see again how you, like a child, were fascinated by this world. And now I wanted to see, what are you fascinated with? And the 3 of Pentacles are coming up again. And so it's continuing. I'm going to put this down. The 3 of Pentacles, right? Plus the 10 is the 13. The 13 is Scorpio. That's when you get the light, or that's when you had the full moon. And Scorpio is your opposite sign. That's where you're learning the most from. And the 13 is the big transformation that you're getting. And the 13 turns into a 4. And the 4 is then again the Aries energy. So maybe you're becoming more an Aries. So maybe the Queen of Wands is more and more and stronger talking to you. But now with the 8 Pentacles and 3 Pentacles, you get 11 Pentacles. So now you get 13 Pentacles. Oh my God, what a message is this? I never seen anything like it. 13 times the 1 is you transforming. 13 turns into 4. Then you're becoming empowered through the heart, but also through the Aries energy, right? That you becoming more of a leader. And in that, you're learning to be with the 3 of Pentacles that are facing the right. And the 3 of Pentacles says the women are building a house together. To the right, she's working hard and putting forth effort to achieve an end. And so I think you realized here something, right? The reversed 8, that you want to achieve mastery, you want to change your job, because maybe you were dreaming about a certain job back then as a child, and the sun is bringing you now the opportunity because it's facing the right. So I think you are realizing this project because this is the constellation Mars in Capricorn, and Mars is connected with the Emperor, and Capricorn is giving you a second time the light. So here is the direct message, right? Also that the 4, the Emperor, that here the Queen of Wands, right? And then also the Queen of Wands that came to you is saying, well, now when you look at Temperance, you understand that you have a new meaning in your life, that you have the 8, the strength. And so then you see here the Queen of Wands, which is also connected with the Wands, the fire, that you can be a guardian angel, that you can maybe not have a job, but maybe a mission, that you are becoming a guardian angel for the people, because there is a 5-5 portal here with Temperance, right? 14, and here the 5 in that reverse, that people don't start to fight Venus in Aquarius because it's something you don't like, right? You love beauty, you love harmony, you love to be sensuous, and as soon as there is a fight, and as soon as there are things that are not working, you're like, okay, that's, you know, you getting away. So you have the 8 plus the 3 is the 11, so you have 13 ones. It's amazing, right? And so the message is clear that when I calculate here everything together, we have a 10, and a 10 is the 20 and the 3 is the 23. That's the 5 left, and the 5 is like, yes, a 5-5 portal with her. You are now learning to really be an inspiration, be someone that makes the effort to come back into the childhood memory of yours and be that big inspiration, be the guardian angel, be someone that is like a leader and leads from a new perspective, right? Leads from a magical perspective, which is also the one here, right? Leads, right, through self-love, leads through communicating that self-love. And I think that's the message right now from Capricorn, right? That you have 13 times your opposite sign is talking to you. Transform yourself into the one and only that you are, right? Because you are the number 2, but also here the 1. And so the 3 is bringing you through the Empress, the Magician. Be the one and only that can now make the difference in the world. What a beautiful message comes through, right? I hope I see you in the next reading, because we have Venus in Aquarius, and we had the 17, which is the star. And so it's clearly talking to you already, right? The energy of Aquarius. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.